Thank you. The flow got me here. A client was referred to me. I was drawn to the East Coast. They introduced me to a client who told me about you. And I said, normally I ignore this, but I wrote your name down. And yesterday when I got done with the clients, I looked on the internet. You had a workshop today. I called friends, and there's 3 of us here. So the flow drug is here.
Law of attraction is a very powerful thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And do you know if you're not in the vibrational vicinity, you don't hear it? So you weren't really dragged here kicking and screaming. It was just the next logical step.
Yes.
Yes.
I cleared my calendar to be here. I'm dealing with a major challenge. I look at myself this way. I grew up on a farm. When I was a little kid, when I was bad, I got to clean the barn. And when I was good, I got to clean the barn. And after a while, I figured out it was my job to clean the barn. And I was different because I had awareness that other people didn't, and they didn't want me to express this awareness. Well, the last 38 years of my life, I've been working at this and making a living, sharing this difference, this awareness. But at the same time, I was marinated in anger and fear my entire childhood, and I can't seem to break away from that. And even though all these miracles take place in my presence, it still feels unnatural to me. It's like, is this real or is this illusion? Am I lying to myself? And at this point, I'm questioning, where do I go to continue my support of the people that surround me and find me?
Well, there are a number of things that we want to give you. It's a wonderful basis that you've laid here for us to chew together. Most significant thing we want to say is that a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. So when something happens, when you're early into your physical experience, and it gets your attention, and so you look at it because it's real and vivid and seems worthy of attention. What most people don't realize is giving it attention activates the vibration of it within you, and then law of attraction gives you more of it. So it's really easy to validate beliefs because you start out with a thought, you offer a vibration, law of attraction answers it, and then you say, see, I told you. And then once you believe it, it continues to happen. So there are a lot of people who are still holding vibrational patterns, a thought that you've thought enough that it became dominant is what a belief is. There are a lot of people that hold vibrational patterns that don't serve them, but they don't know how to let go of them because they were so real and it was so true that it seems that they should talk about it. And what we want to say is a lot of things are true, a lot of things happened, but it doesn't mean that now you are obliged to give your attention to them. Just because they happened doesn't mean it's the best choice of thought or direction of thought. So it isn't until you sort of hear the story as we've described it, and you come to understand these 2 points of vibrational relativity. It's just like the guidance system in your vehicle. The system knows where you are, you program where you're going, and it calculates the route between. And you have the same sort of thing going on. You are where you are, offering the vibration that you are in response to whatever you're thinking about. Whether it's past, present, or future, it's active now, so you're offering a vibration now. But the source part of you, the inner part of you, is offering a vibration that is different from this uncomfortable vibration that you're offering. And that constitutes the vibrational gap which you're wanting to close, not widen, allow, not resist, as you are moving along. So when you get it, that you are an expanding being, and that the reason that you feel negative emotion at all is because you've become something that this thought is not letting you fully be, then you start wanting to sort of lean in the direction of the thoughts that feel better. When you are a youngster, like the one you described and like the one we just heard about, and someone who has authority or someone you care about looks at you and proclaims you wrong or bad or inappropriate, the reason that feels so bad is because that thought activates a vibration within you that is so screwy, so off the vibration of source, that you have affected the emotion of negativity as an indicator of your separation. Too strong of word, but discord. On the other hand, when someone beholds you, a grandmother maybe, or a teacher, or a parent, when anyone beholds you and adores you and evokes from you some appreciation of self. The reason that feels so wonderful is because the activity of the vibration within you matches the vibration of how Source feels about you, so there's no separation. You've come into alignment with you. So what you just described to us that happened in your childhood and that you continue to beat the drum of, most people do, is an affected separation because your society, your family, your world trained you into thoughts that your inner being would not join you in. You see, Source is love and so must love. And when you choose any other thought about yourself or anyone else, you're out there hanging raw and ragged. You're not fulfilled. You're not letting yourself be who you really are. And so as you come to understand that the way you feel is everything, then everything is so much simpler because it's so much easier when you realize you've only got two choices to feel worse or better. And we think what goes wrong with most people is that they listen to a dialogue like this and then they take it upon themselves to get feeling really good. But when you feel really bad, you can't all of a sudden get feeling really good. The frequencies are too far apart. And when you try and fail and try and fail and try and fail, in time, you just sort of give up. You don't know what to do. You sort of present yourself in the way you have. What do I do about all of this? So we think that as you hear this in the way that we are describing it to you, that you're feeling some resonance with this. In other words, when a lot of people are wanting people to appreciate them because it feels good to be appreciated. But we say what you really want is to be one who is appreciating. Whether you're appreciating yourself or whether you're appreciating someone else, in that vibrational attitude, you come into alignment with who you are. But what goes wrong, we started to say earlier, is that when you want to feel really good and you feel really bad, and you can't feel really good, then you feel lost. Where if you understood that you want to feel really good and you feel really bad, but if you could just feel a little less than really bad, so you feel a little better, that feeling of relief is enough of an indicator that you're on the right track. And then as you try to feel a little better, that's enough of an indicator. And as you try to feel a little better, and before you know it, on subject after subject, you will have come into alignment. The other day, Esther was editing a tape. Jerry had done his part. He'd been up in the night. And when Esther got up, there it was ready for her. And she knew that it had to be in the FedEx box that day, and she knew exactly how many hours it took for her to do it. And she was sort of against a deadline, and so she sat down with the intention of getting this done today, to keep her commitment like she said she would. So she put her headphones on and settled in to do her work, and Jerry announced, "It is a beautiful day here in San Diego. I think I will take a walk." And Esther felt discord in her being because she wanted to take a walk in this beautiful day, and she felt that feeling of lack of freedom, even a feeling of jealousy, a feeling of resentment wash over her. So she thought about it, and she thought, well, I could go with you. And then she thought, but not and make my deadline. And making my deadline really matters to me. So she said to Jerry, "Have a nice walk." And off he went. She watched him leave the bus. He was literally flying down the trail. It was as if he was saying, "I'm free, I'm free, I'm free." And she almost heard him say, "And you're not, you're not, you're not." And so she watched him walk away, and she sat there feeling what she was feeling. And then she remembered all of this chatter that we've been offering about this stream, and about the power of who you are, and about how even though you are where you are, you have the choice of feeling worse or feeling better. So Esther thought, I am going to do this, but I've got the choice of doing it and complaining about it, or doing it and feeling something different than complaining about it. And so she sat with that downstream intention in mind. And she thought, it's 100 degrees or more everywhere in this nation, and here we are in San Diego, 70 degrees, and we've got our windows open. That was a downstream thought. And then she thought, there's no more beautiful place to work. She looked out her window, she could see sailboats going by. And then she thought, and I'm so comfortable. Here I am in this wonderful chair with this magnificent computer that makes my work easy, and headphones that are the best that are available. And I get to do this work. Not only do I get to edit the material now, I get to feel as it flows through me. And it wasn't a minute or two before Esther had turned and began flowing with the stream. When Jerry returned from his walk, Esther was more refreshed than if she had walked with him. So you can clean the barn because you're in trouble, or clean the barn when you're not in trouble. But we want you to realize that you can clean the barn and resent cleaning the barn, or you can clean the barn in an attitude of appreciation about something. And as you discover that you have a choice about which way you orient yourself emotionally, then you have a choice about how long you are before you are closing the gap. And everything that you want is about closing that gap. It doesn't matter what other form it takes. The reason you want it is because you want to feel better in the having of it, you see. So we'll hear from you.
There's times when I'm able to get out of my way. And when I do that, miracles happen for people in my presence. But when it happens, it's so humbling for me, and I keep going, why me? This little barn cleaner is doing, why did you give me this gift to do this? And so I've always made it a habit, or been successful, to hide most of the time while I've been doing this, and being pretty much invisible all these years, and yet be able to, for these things to happen for a lot of people.
So what you're
I
saying,
can't hide anymore.
So what you're saying is your alignment is sporadic.
Yes.
And the thing that's interesting about that is that the more you align with this energy, the more you can't stand it when you're not. And this is what's happening to you. In other words, the more you don't align, the more you want to do it. The more you do align, the more powerful you are. The more powerful you are, the more things happen around you. The more things happen around you, the more uncomfortable you are in your negative directed thought. So the answer must be very clear. Get control of your thought. But it's not easy to get control of your thought when there are so many. So we say a much easier approach is care about how you feel and always lean in the direction of what feels good. And we can tell you the thing that it's so easy for us to see, it's right out here where we can see it and define it and explain it to you so easily. And it is our expectation that you will feel this easily. When your car is going 100 miles an hour and you hit a tree, it's a bigger problem than when your car goes 5 miles an hour and you hit a tree. So through the life that you lived before you got here and through what you've lived since you got here, you have a really fast-moving stream. And when you get crossways of it, it really beats you up. And then you know what you do? You feel guilty about not being perfect all the time. That's the thing that's stuck in your vibrational craw. You have these high standards because you know the power of your alignment. You've seen evidence of it. And then you are not nice to yourself when you, in other words, Esther could say, here I am all day, every day, Abraham flows through me, and I lose my valet parking ticket. I can't find my pen. I'm so disconnected I leave my credit card. When the girl doesn't give it back, I don't notice that she has not given it back. And we say, give yourself a break. In other words, don't be so quick to try to figure out what your serious problem is. There's no serious problem. Just stop being so hard on yourself. Understand that you, like everybody else, are an evolving being. You are an evolving being. And you just want to try to keep up with your expansion a little bit. You're doing remarkably well. You're not ever going to feel good when you're moving against the current ever, nor should you. So when you feel bad, don't say something's wrong. Just say, I got a thought that's cross current of who I am. Period. It's that simple. It really is that simple. And then don't work hard to turn around the boat and paddle very hard downstream. Just let go of the oars and the stream will carry you. You've seen that over and over again. You see, okay. This gift that is yours is a wonderful thing that everybody you know has. You all are extensions of source energy. You all have access to this magnificent stream. You all have become expanded versions of who you are allowing yourself to be. And source is calling you all toward it. So what's happened to you is you've found methodology, you've found practice, you've found energy alignment, you've found ways to release and go with the stream. And so you know the power of it, but you're not sure how you're doing it. And so you're upset that you're not not consistent in it, you see. And we say, just relax more, give yourself a break more, and you'll go with the flow more.